In this video tutorial, I'll introduce you to Diigo, which is a great bookmarking and highlighting service that you can use as an educator. First, begin by going to www.diigo.com and create an account. Notice in the top right corner you can select Sign In, and then you can create an account, or click Get Started Now in the bottom right corner. Diigo can be used on a variety of services. For example, you can use your iPad because there is an app. You can also use your phone and various browsers to use and interact with Diigo. There is a little introductory video that you might want to check out that shows all the various services real quick. But what I want to concentrate on today is using the Diigolet, which is a great tool to just add to your browser. So I'm going to go ahead and log in by selecting Sign In. Notice here I can sign in using these various services, or I can create my new account. You can see down here at the bottom I can create a new Diigo account. Since I use Google or Gmail, I'm going to select that option. Now that I'm logged in, you'll see what's called the library. I've made these various bookmarks, and notice I've added different keywords, or what are called tags. And then if you've added any highlights to that website, you'll see them here. Now look, on the left side I can filter by items that I've marked as read later, bookmarks, images, notes that I may have added to web pages that I've visited. And then I can also search or select and filter by tags, which are basically keywords. And then there's even a feature called My List. So for example, you might want to make a list for each topic of study, unit of study. Up at the top, if you'll notice, you can also search by keyword or by tags and separate it by spaces. Now to begin, I would suggest click on the Tools link here at the top, and you want to find what's called the Diigolet, which is a quick button to add bookmarks. So you can see here I can click Diigolet, and then I click and drag this button up here to the toolbar. Since I already have mine installed there, I won't need to do that. So let's say you're browsing a website. For example, here is my home page. So if you're on a website, for example, and you find this is a good resource for your students, you simply click on the Diigolet button, and then up here at the top you see a bookmark button. You select bookmarks, then you fill out this information including the web address. It'll already be filled out, or a lot of it will be. And then you can mark it private or tweet it if you want, give it a description, add some tags or ways that your students might search for this information. You can also create a list for it. So maybe this is a list for a study on Martin Luther King. You can create a list, or maybe iPad resources, so forth. You could also share it to a group. You may have created a group for each of your classes and then add it to that group. Once you've added that information, click Save Bookmark. Now that you've added that bookmark and you go back to your public website that your students should be able to see without logging in, you'll see here's my public website that any students could see, and they could go in and see the various bookmarks that I've given. Now I'm going to go ahead and sign out so you can see just like a student would. So here's my public library, so my students can see my most recent bookmarks, and they can also search by tags, or they can simply use the search feature here at the top to look for the various information. And you can see listed here in the various dates. So let's say, for example, you're doing that study on Martin Luther King and you wanted them to click that link for that unit of study. They'd click it on the right, and they'd see only those bookmarks that you've looked through and added into the system. If you'd added any images you wanted them to use in the project, they could click on image and they'd see any images that you may have added, or maybe even notes that you've added to that. I've not added those yet, but you could add that as well. So that's a brief introduction to Diigo for educators and using the bookmarklet to save your favorites.